You've got this problem. I want you to imagine a pizza, okay? Imagine you cut this pizza into 4. This pizza represents the wealth of the world, the GDP of the entire world. A full quarter of that is the EU, which we're free to trade with, we're free to travel to, set up a business in anywhere of those 27 other countries in the EU, along with Norway and Sweden and Switzerland and Liechtenstein, associate members. And then the second quarter of that pizza is the US, it's the USA. That's one country. So we've got one trading bloc to do a deal with, then we've got one country, that's half the pizza gone. The third piece of the pizza, the third quarter of the pizza, is all taken up by China and Japan and India. And most of that is China. Again, just 3 countries take up an entire quarter of this pizza, of the world's wealth. The other 163 countries of the world are all in the last quarter. So you imagine now we're Britain and we're going out to make new trade deals with countries. And don't forget, half of our trade does actually come from countries that aren't in the EU. Only half our trade is in the EU as it is. It's not like we were banned from trading with these countries, but we already have these trade deals set up via the EU. What we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to renegotiate all of these deals. And yes, some of these countries are in larger trade organizations like CARICOM and ECOWAS and ASEAN. Don't know how that's pronounced. But the fact is that they're quite protectionist to start with. And instead of us being a group of countries that represent $17 trillion of wealth, we're going to be one country representing about 1.7. So we have diminished our standing in the room before we've even entered it. And are we really actually going to do this? Are we going to go and send out trade delegations to St. Kitts and Nevis, to Comoros, to Tuvalu? What's the point? It would cost more to send someone over there to do some kind of a negotiation for trade than we would actually get in trade. And this comes to my final point about free trade agreements. Okay, we set up a free trade agreement with Australia, population 23 million. Just to compare that to the EU, which is 500 million, so it's a lot smaller market. It's also on the other side of the world. Now, no one in their right mind will put together a free trade area or a free trade agreement if they didn't think they were going to get something out of it. It's not because they want to buy things from us. They're not desperate for our Range Rovers and our Marmite. They want to sell us stuff. And this is the basis of all trade around the world. And the problem is we don't have this trade set up already. We don't have the extra commodities, the advertising, the market share, any of this. We have to build it all. And just imagine this. Say we lose 5% of our trade with Europe. In order to make that up, we have to double our trade with the next 10 countries on the list. Double it. And that's a conservative figure if we lose 5% of our trade with Europe. We're probably going to lose about 25%, which means we've got to do 5 times more trade with Canada, with the US, with China. And there just isn't that much of a market to do it. And nobody's addressing this point. I've never seen anyone talk about this on television. I've read some articles maybe in some broadsheet newspapers, but this is fundamental. Because we say that the whole point of Brexit was, we can trade with the rest of the world. So 2 points about this. First of all, we already are trading with the rest of the world. And secondly, we have now diminished our standing in the world so much by doing this. And I can't think of any way this is going to get any better if we continue down this path. I don't think we should have a soft Brexit. I don't think we should even have a second referendum. We just need to stop this madness because it is going to negatively impact men, women, children, everybody in this nation in one way or the other. And so, thanks for listening. And this is the first of my videos in which I just try and get into a nutshell some of the problems of going for Brexit that you might not have thought of, but you possibly should.